Hello, and welcome to today's video. Today, I wanted to start a brand new series on the channel, a podcast style format series, where I talk about the things that I think Destiny needs to change, I really like in the game right now, and it's supposed to be my hot takes about the game. It might be really spicy, some things maybe a lot of people might disagree with, and some people might really agree with. But these are really just to put my constructive feedback back out there into the world in a format that any viewer can sit down and listen to. The gameplay in the background is just whatever I have on handy, so some days it'll be PvP footage, some days like today it'll be GM footage, it'll be whatever I played the most of over the week. So let's go ahead and hop into the rest of the video. Alright, so welcome to Destiny Hot Takes Episode 1. Today, I wanted to discuss a spicy take from myself. Adept loot is not worth it. And I really do mean that. I do not believe Adept loot is worth the time investment required for 99.9% of it. Especially from master raids. Master raids do not offer enough incentive for the time investment required to earn the Adept gear that is only marginally better than the gear you can obtain from somewhere else. I think a perfect example of this is my Fatebringer. I have the Fatebringer, the Adept, the appended mag, not the one, sorry, regular one with appended mag, explosive payload, and frenzy. This is by far like the best hand cannon in the game. You're looking at a constant 30% damage buff, you're looking at close to max reload speed, and very little drop off due to explosive payload and the extra damage bonus from frenzy. This primary is one of Destiny's best primaries in the game. There's really not much better primaries in the game as a whole. But I don't understand why I would go get the time off. I would have to probably wait till it's Templar week, do the Templar challenge, which is no big deal. I mean, it's Templar, right? Which is just kill him like we always do. On Master, get the Adept version, go farm spoils, then go kill Master Atheon, and then have a chance in the slot machine of getting the role I already have, so that way I can simply put Adept Big Ones on a primary that doesn't even need Adept Big Ones. Adept Big Ones is only Major and Boss Spec together, so it's really a special and heavy weapon mod. However, it doesn't actually make, not having it isn't throwing. Not having Adept Big Ones isn't like, oh, well, your gun doesn't have Adept Big Ones, so how could you use it? Like, no. Like, the gun's fine if you run regular Boss Spec or run regular Major Spec. I understand that it makes your weapon a much better champion killing machine because champions technically count as majors according to the specs. However, is it really worth it just to be able to throw this mod on? For GM weapons, the Nightfall weapons, the only reason I really see to farm the Adept variants is because the Adept variants are a guaranteed drop from the Nightfalls. And because of that, when they're on GM, because of that, it makes them much more consistent to farm. However, there are some weeks where those weapons simply aren't worth running for. I'm not going to sit here and run GM Glassway, which is a probably realistic 35-minute, 40-minute clear on good pace, to just get one weapon drop that probably isn't the role that I want. Whereas this week, Arms Dealer, it's a worthy farm. I mean, you're looking at easy sub 15-minute clears, like really casual sub 15-minute clears. Pretty much anybody can do GM Arms Dealer. So pretty much anybody can get the materials from it, right? Because that's what most people farm GMs for, is for the mats. The weapons just usually happen to be a bonus. So Arms Dealer is a GM that's worth farming. But is the others worth it? Like Fallen Saber this season, yeah, I'll be in Fallen Saber this season. Fallen Saber is worth it. It's even better for me because Fallen Saber is Hothead week, and Hothead being on Fallen Saber is actually pretty solid. And Hothead got better, so I'm even glad that I didn't farm it at the end of last season when I was taking a slight break in my gameplay from the game before Witchqueen launched. However, all of that being said, you could just run the master versions of all these strikes, and when the master versions are up the first 6 weeks of the season, you could get equal dodge rolls for 90% of the guns, and you wouldn't be necessarily missing out on not having played the GM variants of the strikes. And why would I wait 6 weeks to get the weapons I want if I can get them now? Yeah, I understand something like Pally. Yeah, I get it. Especially since most people are farming Pally for PvP purposes, and Adept Icarus is the definition of power creep. Definition of locking people out of gear that is not equal in power. Adept Icarus is not okay for the game, especially in the PvP sandbox, because Icarus is by far the best mod in the game for pretty much all weapons. And then you take Adept Icarus, which also hands you +5 range, which range is usually either the first or second most important stat on every single weapon in the game inside of PvP. And so why would you not take it? And the fact that it only drops from Flawless Trials rewards, which is stupid, makes it so that you are literally forced to run Adept primaries because they get a significantly better mod in PvP. In PvE, you get Adept Big Ones, and Adept Big Ones really isn't that great. Like, it's not terrible, but it's not amazing. Part of the reason I bring this up is on Tuesday, we are getting Master Vow of the Disciple. It'll be 1580. The Adept weapons do drop from there. Their big thing is the Adept weapons drop with the enhanced perks. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if Vow works like the others, like Vogue did, right, in Master terms, the Adept variants really won't be at all worth it from Vow. The reason I say that is if you really want two enhanced perks, which on most guns you really are only looking at one of, right? On most guns you're looking at one of its two perks to make enhanced, because one of those two perks becomes significantly better with the enhanced version, right? Usually the other perk isn't super overly important to make enhanced. Example of this is the Battlegrounds sniper rifle. You're looking for enhanced overflow, not enhanced firing line. Enhanced firing line doesn't really do much for you, but enhanced overflow gives you a potential 18 total in the magazine, which is a lot of bullets. So if you can just craft the enhanced perks, now I understand that crafting the enhanced perks isn't cheap, but also you're not crafting every single raid weapon. Even like, because You're not going to be crafting every single raid weapon because you're not going to want every single raid weapon crafted. Not all of them are desperately needed, right? Like, the fusion isn't the best fusion ever. Like, it's cool. It unlocks some different things inside of PvP, but it doesn't do anything for you in PvE because it's not a rapid fire. If it was a rapid fire, it could do a lot for the game. I'm hoping in the future we do get a stasis fusion that's rapid fire. It rolls with, like, you know, the good perks with, like, Florpal and stuff. We can really see, like, what that does for PvE purposes, because fusions, rapid fire fusions, are still actually pretty competitive in the sandbox, all things considered. They're just slightly worse than slugs, but they're still better than even your best sniper rifle. So there, I would definitely say they're better than pellet shotties. So they're probably definitely still worth it in your special slot if you're looking for a more medium range special, which sometimes you need a medium range special, and snipers kind of suck. But if we can craft the current raid weapons now, and you can get those enhanced perks on them now for just a little bit of effort, right? No slot machine pools, no randomness to them. Just, yeah, here, go in, do what you need to do, get those enhanced perks, you're done, right? And at this point, the raid's been out since the second week of the season. Most people have their patterns if they've been running every single week. I'm short 1 grenade launcher and 2 SMGs, but I did not run the last 2 weeks, so I rightfully deserve to be short. But most people, if they've been running 3 characters 3 times a week, they have all their patterns for the guns they really wanted, and are now just searching for the guns they kind of wanted. I was going to farm out for the linear fusion, but I got both rolls literally perfect, so I don't care about the enhanced versions of the perks that roll in the fusion, in the linear fusion, enough to say it's worth to craft it, or it's worth to farm out the Adept version. The point I am generally making is the incentive to enter the hard activities is really just they're hard, and that isn't enough. I don't want to play Glassway. I don't want to play Lightblade. They're not really that fun after 1 clear of it, right? Scarlet Keep, you could argue, is okay 5-6 clears in. Scarlet Keep's not terrible. Birthplace of the Vile, I could see myself doing 10-15 runs a week. Nothing too crazy, but I could farm a little bit of Birthplace. I do not see myself running Glassway or Lightblade. Neither strike has a time to loot ratio that's worth it at all. Arms Dealer is really good, and Fallen Saber is really not that bad. It's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes if you have relatively competent teammates, which makes the strike overall relatively easy. So if these hard activities don't have loot incentive, and the incentive is simply just them being hard, the question for me becomes, why do they release so late in the season? The Master Raid is releasing over a month and a half after the original raid came out. Now, I understand that it's a brand new raid. I understand that they didn't want to give us all the content in the game right away. But with the now knowing the master raid is going to be 1580, most of us have been 1570 to 1575 for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, for people who got cucked by RNG. Most of us have been between 75 and 80 for 2 to 3 weeks at this point. So we could have ran it 2 to 3 weeks ago if we wanted to run it. I also don't understand why Master Vow is coming in at a lower light level than both Master Vogue and Master GOA, both of which are 1590. I haven't even farmed Artifice Armor yet this season, because I'm not plus 20. I'm getting close. I probably will be sometime next week. And that means next week and the week after I'll probably be running Master GOA boss checkpoints, so that way I can farm Artifice Armor on my Titan, because that's the next step in my builds. But I wanted to put out there that I really don't feel like Adept loot is worth it. And people stress the necessity to get Adept loot when it's not like worth your time at all. It's better to just accept the regular loot, because it's just as good, in all honesty. And as the crafting system progresses more and more, even if in the future all Adept weapons, from Nightfalls, from all raids, can roll with enhanced perks, when the crafting system exists and we're looking at 3 to 5 patterns for every single gun to get equal perks on it, then you don't even need to really partake in the true endgame of endgame to get equal loot to a player who just pulls the slot machine and actually runs the hardest of the hard content on when it comes out. And that is a problem, because the hard content should want to be played. The hard content should be something that everybody wants to run. The hard content should be something that people aspire to play. That's why many of your big streamers call it aspirational content. It should be something that you want to go play. But a lot of it's not, because a lot of it, reward-wise, just isn't worth it. And that is something that, personally, bothers me. But that will be it for episode 1. Like I said, just wanted to get my thoughts out there here on Adept weapons. I would like to hear y'all's thoughts in the comments about Adept weapons. I know there's a lot of people out there that really like the concept of them. I think they're a good idea, but I think they're poorly executed at the moment. And I will see all of you on Sunday for a brand new video. This series is going to be a limited series throughout each season when I find a topic I want to talk about, or content starts to get a little slow, and I just want to put some thoughts and constructive feedback out there for the community, and I just wanted to go ahead and get the series rolling. Thank you all for listening or watching, depending on what you did with this video. And once again, see you all on Sunday. Thank you, and goodbye.